Caffrey. Welcome to Police Custody Basics. And the custody errors that caused this case to collapse were in relation to the drink drive procedures. So we've got a driver who at the roadside provides a electronic screening device specimen sample at 80 plus. They're arrested on suspicion of driving whilst over the prescribed limit. They're taken to the police station. The officer sets up the Intoxilyser machine. The driver attempts to provide breath. They provide 4 failed breaths, and the machine times out. Now the officer, he says on the footage that he believes that she was trying her best and he's going to set the machine back up and let her try again. So he sets the machine back up, it's purging, and then the machine sounds the warning sound, and it comes up as a fatal error message of ambient fail. The officer waits, he says that they're going to set the machine up again. He sets the machine up again and it starts purging, and again there's a fatal error sound alarm, and it comes up again as ambient fail. Now this means that the machine is not functioning correctly and it can't be used. Now what the officer ended up doing in this case, they ended up charging the driver with failure to provide the specimen at the police station, saying that she was given multiple attempts to provide and she failed to provide. And by half time in the case, the case then collapsed, because even if you look at the drink drive forms, the MGDDA, section A18 looks at the breath analysis procedure not completed satisfactorily, and it gives the option here that if the breath testing device stops operating, is not operating reliably, or will not complete the test cycle, or the device has produced a breath reading which cannot be relied upon. So that applies to this scenario, that the officer then is diverted to the MGDDB, the blood procedure. So what the officer should have done is gone to the blood procedure, made the formal request for the bloods. Then if the driver refused to provide the bloods, that is a safe conviction for failure to provide. But they didn't. Instead, they just charged the driver with failure to provide, when the reason for the failure was the fault of the machine, as in it didn't work and it kept terminating, rather than the driver. Now, if the officer had decided at the end of the first evidential cycle, that those 4 attempts, that the driver was deliberately failing to provide satisfactory samples, then that in itself would have been a safer option to go with the failure to provide. But the fact the officer agreed that she was trying her best to provide, and then went through 2 self-aborted attempts with the machine, it meant that the machine itself was unreliable, and therefore the failure to provide was not found. And on the day of the court case, at half time, the case collapses. So again, simple, basic custody functions. My name's Joanne Caffrey, and this is Police Custody Basics. Thank you.